When you fill your cat's water bowl every day, do you actually know what they're trying to tell you when they refuse to drink from it? Yes, cats can be picky. Everyone knows that. But behind that refusal, there's something deeper that most owners completely miss. It's one of the most overlooked signals your cat sends you every single day. And if you keep ignoring it, which 97% of owners do without even realizing it, you might be pushing your cat toward chronic dehydration, hidden stress, and a discomfort they can't put into words. Let's start with what your cat's water bowl is really telling you. 1. The assumption that's slowly hurting your cat. You place the water bowl right next to the food bowl. It makes sense, it's convenient, it's tidy. It feels like the responsible thing to do. Most owners assume cats prefer everything in one place, like a little feeding station, neat, organized, easy. Here's what's actually happening. In the wild, cats never drink water near their prey. The reason is survival. A dead animal next to a water source signals contamination. Rotting prey pollutes water. Cats evolved over thousands of years to instinctively avoid drinking anywhere near a food source, because doing so could kill them. Your cat's brain still carries that programming. When the water bowl sits next to the food bowl, something in their nervous system quietly signals, this water is not safe. They don't ignore it because they're difficult. They ignore it because every instinct they have is telling them not to drink it. Think about that for a second. Every day, without knowing it, you may be placing your cat's water in the one location their biology is designed to reject. And by the way, if your cat has ever dragged food away from the bowl before eating it, don't brush that off. We'll come back to what that really means later, and it connects to something most owners never consider. 2. What the science actually says. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery found that cats who had their water source separated from their food bowl showed significantly higher daily water intake than cats whose bowls were placed together. But here's what that study also revealed. Chronically low water intake in cats is directly linked to urinary tract disease, kidney stress, and crystal formation. These are some of the most common, most expensive, and most preventable health problems in domestic cats. Researchers who study feline hydration behavior call the food-water proximity problem positional aversion. It sounds clinical. What it actually means is that your cat is thirsty, knows where the water is, and still won't drink it because something in their environment feels wrong. That's not stubbornness. That's a stress response you didn't know you were triggering. 3. Your cat is reading the room, literally. Cats navigate their environment through scent more than any other sense. Every corner of your home carries a scent map that your cat reads constantly. The area around their food bowl is one of the most scent-saturated zones in the house. Meat, oils, residue, bacteria from kibble moisture. To your cat, that zone is dense with information, and most of it signals activity, feeding, and biological material. Water, to a cat, should feel neutral, clean, separate. When it sits inside that scent-heavy zone, it doesn't register as refreshing. It registers as part of the feeding environment, which their instincts tell them to treat with caution when it comes to drinking. Moving the water bowl even a few feet away isn't just a logistical change. It's a scent change. It tells your cat's nervous system, this water is in a different zone. This water is safe. That one shift can change how much your cat drinks every single day. And hey, if this is making you see your cat's behavior differently, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more cat lovers who actually want to understand what their cat is really trying to say. 4. The wild ancestor living in your living room. Domestic cats are roughly 10,000 years old as a species living alongside humans, but their neurology is far older than that. The wild cat ancestors that eventually became your house cat spent millions of years developing survival rules that kept them alive. One of those rules, water sources near prey sites are dangerous. Another rule, which connects directly to the bowl problem, still water is suspicious. In nature, still water collects bacteria, insects, and contamination. Running water, a stream, a dripping tap, rainfall is almost always safer. Cats developed a preference for moving water sources at the biological level. This is why so many cats obsessively drink from dripping faucets, paw at their water bowl before drinking, or seem fascinated by running taps. They're not being quirky. They're expressing a preference their ancestors evolved for a reason. A cat water fountain, something that circulates and aerates the water continuously, can increase water intake by up to 50% in some cats, according to veterinary behaviorists who study feline hydration patterns. Not because it's a luxury, because it speaks to something ancient in how your cat understands what safe water looks like. 5. Your cat is telling you. This every day, and most owners don't hear it. Here's something worth sitting with. Your cat doesn't behave this way with every water source in your home. They have preferences, specific spots, specific containers, specific textures and placements. They're not doing this randomly, they're communicating. When your cat walks past their water bowl without drinking, pause at the surface before tentatively taking a sip, or consistently gravitates toward the bathroom tap, they're giving you information. Detailed, consistent behavioral information about what makes them feel safe enough to be vulnerable. Because drinking, for a cat, is a vulnerable act. Head down, eyes partially unfocused, guard lowered. They only drink comfortably in places and conditions that feel genuinely secure. The fact that your cat drinks at all in your home means they trust the environment you've created, but the location of that bowl and what's next to it can quietly undermine that trust in ways that show up as health problems years later. 6. What most owners never realize until it's too late. Remember earlier when I mentioned cats dragging food away from their bowls before eating? This is what I was talking about. That behavior is the same instinct in a different form. Carry the prey away from the water source. Keep the zones separate. It's the same ancient rule playing out in your kitchen, on your tile floor, with a piece of dry kibble. Your cat is not being strange. Your cat is being exactly what they are, a small, highly intelligent predator doing their best to follow rules that kept their ancestors alive. Here's what most owners never realize until something goes wrong. Chronic mild dehydration in cats doesn't look like a cat dying of thirst. It looks like a cat who seems fine, until the vet visit where you find out their kidneys have been under quiet stress for 2 years. Until the urinary blockage that comes without warning, until the behavior changes, the lethargy, the loss of appetite, that most owners attribute to age. The water bowl placements is a small thing, but in a cat's life, small things accumulate. 7. What to do, starting today. If your cat's water bowl is currently next to their food bowl, move it across the room, into a different room entirely, somewhere quiet, low traffic, and away from any feeding area. If your cat consistently ignores their water bowl but drinks from faucets or other sources, consider a circulating fountain, not as an indulgence, as a response to what they've been telling you. If the behavior suddenly changes, if a cat who drank regularly stops, or if a cat who was indifferent to water starts drinking excessively, don't ignore it. Both are signals. Both warrant attention. Sudden increases in water consumption are one of the earliest detectable signs of kidney disease and diabetes in cats. Don't wait to see if it resolves. Your cat cannot tell you when something is wrong with words. They tell you with patterns, with behavior, with the quiet, consistent messages they send every day through what they do and don't do. The water bowl is one of them. So when your cat walks past that bowl without drinking, or paws at the water like they're testing it, or follows you to the bathroom just to drink from the tap, they're not being difficult. They're doing exactly what their biology taught them to do. They're trying to find water that feels safe. That's not quirky. That's your cat trusting their instincts and quietly hoping you'll understand. The bowl was always a small thing. What it tells you about how your cat experiences their world never was.